Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Worth Your Time. I'm Jared, that's Ben, and we just got finished watching Ghostbusters 2. So, Ben, what were your thoughts?
Okay, right off the bat, I think I told you this pretty early on, but I feel like it was a lot funnier.
Really?
Like
Okay.
the jokes, I think maybe funnier is the wrong word, but the jokes landed cleaner. It
hmm
didn't feel as forced in areas, but I don't know. I liked it better than the first one. I don't know if it's because there wasn't all the setup. We just kind of got into it or what. I just enjoyed it more.
Yeah. So, this is only my second time watching this one. I've seen the first one more, but I feel like I enjoyed this one just as much. And that's kind of a surprise for me because the
Okay.
first time I watched this, I didn't remember liking it at all. I could have just been in the wrong situation watching it. I could have been with the wrong person watching it, which was probably it. Um, but you can give you one guess who it was. So
Yep.
but
Yep.
I enjoyed this so much more than I remembered. Like I had fun with it. I enjoyed the plot. I thought it was different from the first one. I remembered a lot of retread, but I didn't feel like that at all. Um, And yeah, like you said, I feel like the humor really landed in some spots. Like I think this movie had funnier moments than the first one for sure.
Yeah, I feel like they front loaded it with a lot of humor. The back half there wasn't as much humor, more just plot happening. But,
Yeah.
I still felt it was pretty good, which it kinda needs that in the beginning because the beginning being a bit slow, a lot of talking, a lot of setting things up, so it needs that more, that, JPI.
Yeah.
JPM,
And
jokes per minute.
and this movie
JPI.
has a lot of like, there are questions like why it's not really like why nobody remembers it, like what happened in the first one, but like they just kind of are pissed off at the Ghostbusters. They're like, man, why'd you like cause so much damage and stuff to the city and stuff? And it's like,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for them, Zool would have like freaking taken over. So, but I don't know. Putting that little like plot hole aside, I do really enjoy this movie. I like how at the start they're like just doing birthday parties and stuff, and like that's the only jobs they can get.
So awkward, so awkward.
Yeah. And then
I
like
love just
Peter's.
the brazen attitude of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Just
then
do what they
Peter's like
want, how
doing
they want, when they want.
Peter's doing his own like psychic TV show and stuff, and it's uh God, Egon is like doing that studies with the married couple in the room, like constantly turning the heat up in the room to see and making them wait longer. I don't know. I like these characters, and I think that's what makes the movie work, what makes people stick with it, because it's a cool setup, it's a cool storyline, but then it's also like these characters are just all fun, and like I would like to see more of them.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, like, I like this movie. I don't know. The first one, felt like there was the half of it was just set up. This one, we kind of got to it fairly quickly. Like stuff started happening, and the characters felt more defined. First one, it
hmm
was like you got very loose understandings of what they were. I mean, Vankman's character was pretty well fleshed out, but the other ones were just kind of archetypes. Whereas this one, you
yeah,
kind of feel like you got to see much more of them individually. I
yeah,
don't know. It was funny the sort of the friendship between Ray and Egon, like I don't know that like that extra special sort of like back and forth right there between them was I don't know
yeah,
it was an interesting development's the right word, but just interesting little point or note in their
yeah,
relationship as a friend group.
yeah. And the length I feel like really helps this movie too. Like it's under 2 hours long. It's only like an
Mhm.
hour and 45, and I feel like it goes by pretty quick. Like there was a few times where I checked the time, but not much.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to say that about a movie like this. 'Cause this movie isn't meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to be
hmm
taken as just a fun kind of romp. Um, But it is so hard to look at this and ignore ginormous plot holes.
Yeah, yeah. No,
They
I'm
could
with you in some
literally
ways.
they could literally have they could literally have just like a single line of dialogue being like, "Yeah, the military didn't feel like handling it," and just move on. The whole time I'm like, "What about the freaking military? These guys have
Yeah,
freaking like reactors strapped to their backs with giant laser beams that are tearing up
yeah.
buildings with these laser cannons. How is the military not banging in on their doors to get this technology?" It's
No,
like
I'm with you.
a simple throwaway line could have like
Yeah.
resolved that, you know?
I will say too, I really liked the court scene when the judge is just like going off, going crazy, like yelling at him, and then it's like revealed the first time that negative energy makes the goo like react and stuff. And then the judge just completely 180s is like, oh God, those are two guys that I, the two ghosts are like two guys I sentenced to death a long time. Okay, you can help me. I like
Yeah,
that part a lot.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I feel like we should we go ahead and get into the worth your time bit and just get that done and over with?
yes, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm
Okay.
gonna say if you like the first one, yes, of course, go ahead. This is worth your time. But if you aren't interested in Ghostbusters, no, I don't really think it is worth your time. Because, like, why are you just going to walk into Ghostbusters 2, you know? But, I mean, if you like the idea of Ghostbusters, I'd say, yeah, it's worth your time.
See, I'm kind of there with you. I say this isn't a movie I would just sit down and watch on my own. This is a movie that you'd watch with friends, you know. Um so I'd say yeah, it's worth your time if you're with a group of friends. Cuz it's fun to just like laugh at it together. It's fun to just, kind of like we do assign characters, roles from our personal friend group. I said you
Yeah,
were Vinkman and I was Ray. Like we're
yeah,
just assigning these character roles to each other. And that can be fun with this. But if you're just sitting there watching it by yourself just to watch it, it's a no.
yeah,
But like with friends, yes. So again, it's like that maybe kind of
yeah.
middle ground. All right. So we want to get into actual plot.
Yeah, so, um, God, I
Wow, the
had his
latency
name.
is terrible. Oh my goodness.
I cannot remember. Oh, Vigo, the villain. I felt, he was kind of just the bad guy. I didn't really care much about him. I kind of like the same thing with the first one. I lost your picture there for a
Mhm.
second.
I put a low data mode so that latency wouldn't be so bad.
Okay, cool.
Just to be
So
okay.
yeah, Vigo, the villain, not great. Kind of like Zool in the first one, just a random ghost. But I don't know. I liked the idea of the
Yeah.
pink slime. That's what I kind of thought was cool. I like how it like fed on negative energy, and then they use that as like, oh yeah, New York, that's it's gonna thrive there, cause yeah, people in New York, yeah, kind of, we're both from big cities, so we know how it is.
Fair.
And
Fair.
I don't
Fair.
know, I
Oh
just
yeah.
I felt like that. I liked that plot line a lot.
I I felt like it was a kind of a two-pronged thing because you had, Vigo himself, but then also the slime on top of that. I mean, and it was sort of the same thing, but I feel like kind of I don't know, it thickened the plot in a sort of a way. It wasn't just so thin, one dimensional.
Yeah,
But what I would like to say is I liked cameos aren't the right word, but just the different ghosts or ghouls, or whatever that showed up. Freaking Titanic showed up.
oh yeah, yeah, I did
just,
like that part.
just
Yeah,
dropping off passengers. They walk
yeah.
with the freaking Statue of Liberty like it was a giant mech. It's like what? Like I
Yeah.
feel like they're a lot more creative with that aspect of it. But this
Yeah.
movie follows a very similar uh story as the first one does. It kind of builds, and a giant outbreak of monsters, and then they fix it, and then it ends. It's very
Yeah.
similar to the first one in that aspect.
Yeah. But like I said, I did enjoy this more than I remember. So I don't know. I'm happy I went back and watched it again because if I never would have, I probably just would have been like, yeah, yeah, Ghostbusters 2 sucked. Like, yeah, I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's hard to talk about sequels or even because you're kind of rehashing a lot of what you said the first time, with the first
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. But
So I don't
I
know.
am really
There's a lot of
excited.
pauses here. So we're just like,
I am really excited to get to the next one, which is Ghostbusters Afterlife. That is the legacy sequel. And that, like I said, I had watched one and two, and then I even watched the reboot with the women and stuff, which that's for another conversation for another time. But Ghostbusters Afterlife, I loved. I really, really liked a lot. So I'm excited to see your thoughts on that. But for now, I'm ready to rate
okay,
it if you are.
is Afterlife the new one? No, no, Frozen Throne's the new one. This Afterlife is the first of the new ones, right?
Yes, yes. It's the only other one we have left to watch. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, I am ready for a rating.
Okay.
Do you want
I
me to
am
go
too.
first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a solid 5,
Ooh.
solid middle of the road.
Okay.
Um, because like I said with the worth your time bit, if you're with friends, yes. If you're by yourself, maybe not. It really depends on the situation and the kind of mood you're in. Um,
Yeah.
and it is that again, it follows the same sort of story structure as the first one. It's very, I don't know, it's just very similar to the first one, but it feels like it's just done better than the first one. I
Yeah.
can't really say it's top tier, but it's not bad,
Yeah. I am going to give it a
That's where I'm at.
6, which I think is exactly what I gave the
Okay.
first one. Because that's what I kind of feel like. I kind of
Okay.
feel like I enjoyed this as much as the first one, and I feel like it's just as good. I feel like if you just watch these back to back, you'd be like, "Yep, there's the Ghostbusters story." Like I kind of feel like it's just on par for me. So not bad, not great, just pretty okay movies.
Not not 3 freaking hours long.
Yeah, yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Oh.
Oh my god, don't even get me started. Okay, Ben, would you like to know what we're watching next?
We are watching Kong Skull
We are watching Kong Skull Island next.
Island.
I'm excited to get in that. You've never seen that, right?
I have not seen it, no. And you
Okay,
know
all
how I
right,
love these monster movies. So
yeah. But I don't. I'm hoping you love it. I like it, but either way, you're gonna have to watch it, and you're just gonna have to go with it.